How to use Configurator for Solution Framework. The Solution Framework is divided into two parts. The Configurator, to create templates of solutions which can be reused quickly and easily. The Solution Builder, to deploy the templates and the various add-ons created by the configurator. As an end result, it creates an AutoStore configuration file. Before we move forward, please make sure that you have the latest version of AutoStore and the Solution Framework installed. You can launch the configurator by going to the desktop and clicking on the configurator icon. If you cannot find it on a desktop, you can also find it by navigating to the following folder: C drive, Program Files, NSI, AutoStore Configurator, Wizard, Bin, and there's the configurator icon. Go ahead, double click it. When the configurator first starts up, you're presented with a login screen. One thing to keep in mind is that this is a Notable Solutions internal use tool. Your username should be the first initial and last name. So for example, Michelle Burke's screen name would be M. Burke. If you do not have a password or have forgotten it, please feel free to create a help desk ticket or reach out to a member of the solutions team, and we will be happy to help you. Let's go ahead and click the login button. The credentials are verified and we are logged in. Upon login, a quick check is performed to see if the current configurator and framework version is valid. The results of the check will appear in a dialog box. We can go ahead and click OK to close it. What you're presented is with the main configuration screen, which is divided into three sections: the list of templates, description of the template, and the example output. The list of templates, as you can see, is also grouped by different industry verticals, such as accounting, health, construction, education, and then you also have a tab on top which says Internet Templates. The difference is the local templates are the ones which are installed by default when you install the solution framework, and the internet ones are which have been published and can be downloaded as required. So let's go ahead and see how we can create an expense report template from scratch and then publish it so it's available for use. You have various options when starting to create a solution template. We can copy existing solution template and modify it, or start from scratch. In this case, let's go ahead and do it from scratch. To create a new template, click on the New button on the toolbar. The New Template dialog box pops up. First, we select the category of the solution we want to build. So since we're doing expense reports, we can file it away in the accounting category. Secondly, we select the base template. There are three options: Basic, AS4MD, and AS4 Legal. The difference is if you select AS4MD, it's going to include medical record specific features such as parallel HL7 output. If you select AS4 Legal, it would include features such as optional bait stamping. For our purposes, we can select the basic template. For the name, let's go ahead and put it as Expense Reports Training. And then click on OK. And there is the Expense Reports Training template. Now you can go ahead and click on Edit or simply double click on it. The basic template includes medical metadata by default, but from here we can go ahead and edit the settings to personalize it to the expense reports. We go ahead and modify the general settings such as name, which is already set. Next is the Windows folder. Solution Framework will create solutions with send to folder as the default route component. That path is set to C:\AutoStore files. Setting the Windows folder to Expense Reports Training will create a subfolder under AutoStore files and send the expense reports there. The category is set to accounting. The base template is set to basic. We can go ahead and set the menu label to be expense and the button label to be report. If you're creating a template in a different language, you can select the language of your choice from the drop-down menu. Finally, in description, we can document what this template does if there are any special add-ons or compatibility issues. Now we can go ahead and set the fields. This is divided into three sections: the primary folder fields, search results, and other folder file name fields. So the primary folder fields are, as the name suggests, a top-level folder under Expense Reports Training. Let's go ahead and change it to Employee ID, last name, first name, and remove the other fields. As you can see, as we change the value up in the grid, they get reflected down in the folder setting. Let's change the search result field to just say search results. The other folder file names to be document type, date, and client. And to file the expense report by client, simply drag the client field to the subfolder section. Now go ahead and click on Show Advanced Settings. This will allow us to define the type for each of our field types and also validation. Right now, the employee ID is set to auto increment. In our case, we do not need that. So we can change it to a simple entry field by just setting the default value to no default. The search result by default will show the last 10 expense reports file, which is great. You can change the display result by clicking on Edit Listing. As you can see, it's showing employee ID, last name, and first name, which works for us. Here we also have the option of changing the sorting. Go ahead and click OK. Document type is a drop-down list of the documents which could be attached while submitting an expense report. You can change the values by clicking on Contents and Text Files. So let's create different types of receipts we could expect for expense reports. Let's go ahead and click OK. From here, you also can see the sample output. As you can see, the expense reports will be filed by client, and file schema is document type, client, and date. Let's click Close the window. Click Save Workflow Template, and you have successfully created your first solution. Watch out for the next video where we actually deploy this solution template using the Solution Manager.